I recently watched a painting-like movie. Yep, you guessed it right. The Grand Budapest Hotel. And I become a fan of Mr. Wes Anderson after that. As a movie geek, I observed lots of bold and creative decisions that Anderson took. And I thought I should make a video about it. Now, let's analyze strategic decisions taken by Wes Anderson. First comes the use of aspect ratios. One of Wes Anderson's most clever and effective aesthetic decisions in this movie was the use of multiple aspect ratios. He used those aspect ratios to differentiate across various timeframes. There are 4 timeframes in the movie. So, for the scenes taking place in the 1980s, the aspect ratio is 1.85 to 1, which is similar to 16 to 9, and is an extremely common aspect ratio that we use in many modern-day films. Then we move back in time to the 1960s, and the aspect ratio changes to 2.40 to 1. These scenes are set in the 60s, and this is a time when film studios were trying to outdo television. One way that they did this was by making the frames wider, and therefore they appear more epic and expansive in scale. For the central story, which took place in the 1930s, he used a 1.3 to 1 ratio, which was used in films made at that time. See, what a clever use of aspect ratios to show the difference between various timeframes, like the 60s and 30s. Next thing is the use of colors. The film's 2 time periods, the 1960s and the 1930s, are colored differently. Although there was a war happening at that time, we have a stronger red and pink color cast, and a somewhat harsher light for the 1930s. The hotel scenes have vibrant hues of red, pink, white, orange, yellow, and brown that give it a fantastical vibe of beauty and comfort, despite the challenges that they have outside of it. It looks like the Grand Budapest Hotel is a disguise to hide the cruelty of war, for the rich at least. For the 60s part, the image appears to be warmer, with yellows and oranges dominating. Exterior shots in this timeline are low-saturated greens, while the interiors is in matte and mid-saturated oranges. A color palette that conveys warmth while also revealing the hotel's apathy. I also discovered some cool use of framing. Wes Anderson's framing is consistent and unique throughout the film. Lots of symmetrical compositions and lots of shots are used to portray the perspective of a specific character in a film. There are a lot of straight-on shots, and a wide-angle lens is used a lot. We can see some interesting composition choices that would not be possible with wider aspect ratios. Wes frequently organizes people into layers to show multiple people in the frame. He also used extra vertical space to utilize it in a creative way. Look at this very interesting shot. The 4:3 frame and a low-angle shot allow the director to show the soldiers standing behind him. Another interesting group of shots is the low and high-angle shots captured with a wide-angle lens. They create a very specific point of view and are repeated many times throughout the movie. One more interesting shot that I liked is the frame and a frame kind of shots. This one specifically works really nice in this particular aspect ratio, creating natural frames that are aligned with the frame nicely. In the past, when the 4:3 ratio was commonly used, most of the shots were done using the 3x4 angle rules and almost no straight-on views. But Anderson showed a unique way to use straight-on view. Anderson's use of camera movement is also very interesting. But before discussing that, if you watched this video till here, it means that you like such type of content. So, guys, please subscribe. It motivates me to create such content for you. Please subscribe. So moving ahead. In Grand Budapest Hotel we can see the whole range of Anderson's key elements in camera movements. Let's see some of his trademark camera movements. First one is whip pans. You will see this most often in Anderson's films. Most of the time it is used to change the view from one character to another. In Grand Budapest Hotel you can even see 180-degree pan between two characters on the opposite ends. Then, use of zooms. In critical moments you can see some extreme zooms to bring the audience right into action. He also used sideways dollies, where a character on screen is followed by the camera sideways. And use of tilts coupled with wide-angle lens to create an extreme change in perspective. One of my favorites is panning during dialogues. Wes uses panning throughout dialogue scenes, and when he cuts, he usually uses straight-on and POV shots. In this film, overall the set design, costume design, and camera styles are really made for a pleasing experience. I'm glad I chose this film. The cinematography aspect of this film is especially extraordinary and unique, and I hope you have learned something new from this video about strategic cinematography. I'd recommend this film to any cinema lover, as it brings a unique style of cinema you don't see every day. So, what are your thoughts on Wes Anderson's strategic filmmaking decisions? Let me know by comments. If you like this video and think that it's adding value to your filmy knowledge, then please subscribe. I will see you in the next video.